see my previous video, I just introduced myself and I told you a little bit about my history, health history, who I was and what I was all about. This video today is all about my IBS story and how I've coped with my IBS and all about my IBS journey throughout the last 5 or 6 years. So let's get right into it. I started with IBS issues around 2013. A distinct memory that I had about the IBS was I remember I came home from work the one day, I think it was a Friday afternoon or a Thursday afternoon, I can't remember the exact day, but I just remember telling Gav, my boyfriend, that I was in absolute agony and I needed to go lie down. And I think I went to lie down at around 4 o'clock and I couldn't get up. For the rest of the evening, that was me. I was down, I was man down, I thought I might have had a bug or something. I just had the most excruciating stomach pain. I couldn't move, I couldn't turn, I couldn't eat. It was just horrendous. So we decided to go to the GP the next morning, only to get inconclusive answers. His answers were, well, you might be very stressed, I think you might have IBS, here's a pamphlet on how to manage your stress. And that was probably the start of all my stomach issues, all my IBS issues, and that's just where it snowballed from there. As I gradually progressed and went through the year, I was dancing a lot at the time. I probably also had a lot to do with my health at the time. I was going out partying, we were drinking, I wasn't exactly eating a great diet at the time. It was a lot of McDonald's cheeseburgers and all of that kind of thing. And it just progressively got worse and worse and worse. And I just remember at one stage, anything I ate just upset my stomach. I would eat a salad and I'd be in agony. I would eat my breakfast, I would be in agony. It got to the stage where I just couldn't eat anything because I was so sore. And I did a lot of research, went to numerous GPs, went to about 4 GPs. Everybody kind of told me the same thing. Now I had this IBS. What was IBS? I didn't really know. I just knew it stood for irritable bowel syndrome. I looked it up on the internet, didn't really have much of an idea of what to do. Kind of surmised that I needed to cut out bread, so started cutting out bread, felt a little bit of relief. But then again, as I went out and we would go out and have some dinner, I'd come home and be in agony, and so the cycle just carried on and on and on and on. And eventually, I think this carried on for about a year. Eventually, it got to a stage around 2014. Gav and myself went down to Durban. We were on holiday and we'd had, I think it was a New Year's party, and obviously, you know, at New Year's you drink a lot, you eat a lot, and the next morning I just remember saying to Gav, I can't do this anymore. And I phoned my mom in tears and I said, Mom, I can't do this anymore. I can't do this anymore. I don't know what to do. I can't eat anything. I can't go out. I am in agony every moment of the day. So she decided that we needed to go to I think it was a specialist physician at the time. So we went through to him. He did it was a colonoscopy. He was supposed to do a gastroscopy, which is the one where they take the tube and they put it down your throat. He ended up opting not to do that, and we did the colonoscopy, which is obviously the one where they take it through your colon. It is quite a disgusting topic, but at the end of the day, that was what needed to be done. I was in hospital for 4 days. They ran numerous tests. They tested my thyroid, they did blood tests, and again, all the tests were inconclusive. And I remember the specialist walking into my room, and I was alone at the time, and he said, look, we don't know what's causing your symptoms, but we think it's IBS. We can't find anything in your colon. Everything seems to be fine. And I remember him handing me a sheet, and at the time it was a diet for a peptic ulcer, and that meant I had to de-skin all my vegetables, and I just felt very restricted with what I was eating. I had come from a stage of where I wasn't eating anything to now being so restricted in my diet. I felt like the world was ending. I remember I'd go out with Gav and we'd go to a restaurant and I'd burst into tears because I'd look at the menu and just say, I don't know what to eat, I don't want to go out. And it started to affect my life and how I viewed things, and I just wouldn't go out. I didn't want to go out. I couldn't drink anything. I couldn't eat anything. And it just affected me emotionally, mentally, and physically as well. I ended up losing so much weight. I was going through a bit of a stressful period at the time, and I think I lost about 10 kgs. I weighed around 54 kgs and I dropped down to about 43 kgs. Also at this time, I did have my wisdom teeth taken out at the end of 2013, so I was quite sick, and it just progressively spiraled from there. Anyway, long story short, nothing was really conclusive. I went through life, I kind of did my own research, I cut out a few things, cut out gluten because that's what the specialist told me I had to do, wasn't eating gluten, wasn't really eating much of anything, and then eventually I kind of gave up with the diet and just went on my own way and just thought, well, if I'm not going to eat anything, what's the point of carrying on? Again, kind of just went through a whole bunch of different diets, and as I progressed through the years, I slowly found out that dairy affected my stomach quite a lot as well. Again, Gav and I had gone down to Durban for a holiday, and we were having a lot of whey protein shakes at the time with a lot of dairy, a lot of yogurt and milk in the dairy, in the shake. After a few days, again, I was just in agony, and I said to Gav, no, I think I need to cut out the yogurt and the milk from the shake, and I did that and I felt a lot better. And I gradually, through December to about February 2016, went into the process of becoming vegan. I didn't cut out everything completely all at once, remembering at that stage I was already limiting my dairy, so I didn't really need a lot of cutting out at that stage, remembering that I wasn't eating a lot of meat at that stage, and I really was only eating a limited amount of ostrich. I wasn't even eating egg at the stage, because every time I ate egg I would have to run to the bathroom and throw it up, so I wasn't eating much anyway. So it was quite an easy process for me to go from being a meat eater to being vegan, and for the first time in a long time my stomach seemed to just be at a plateau. It was calm, I was at ease, I didn't have any problems. For the next 2 years I would maybe have a stomach issue here and there, but I didn't live in pain. I was enjoying my food finally again. I would look forward to going out, and for me it was just that mindset of I could enjoy my food again, and I could go out with my family and friends, and